Hello and welcome to the first of a series of videos where we will take you on a virtual guided tour of Da Nang. I will be at the wheel, or handlebars if you will, and my wife Tia will act as camera woman. Here you can see the camera video painting from my hometown of Covington, Georgia. Out into the Pacific, over Hawaii, the Philippines. We come to rest on a favorite little breakfast spot Em and I enjoy, especially when I need a good Western style breakfast. Called Jeremy's Kitchen, owned and operated by a fellow Alabamian of the same name. Great French press coffee and the classic Western style breakfast. So as we leave Jeremy's, we are headed up Nguyen Quang Tru towards AH-17. And there you can see a little bit of the breakfast. Delicious. Here we're going to give you a quick aerial tour of Da Nang. Give a little perspective into its layout. As you can see, Da Nang is a coastal city that sits almost in the exact center of Vietnam. Red marker is where we live, and you can really get a sense of the mountain that sits off of our patio. Da Nang is essentially a city split in two by the Han River. We live on the peninsular side with the beaches known as Son Tra Peninsula. AH-17 or Highway 17 runs the entire length of the peninsula from the mountains in the north to Hoi An in the south. Here you can see the mountain with the Nang Bay to the northwest, and then the famous Hai Van Pass, a natural barrier that has divided Vietnam for millennia. To the west is the Ba Na Hill Station, a resort mountaintop retreat built by the French during the occupation. Now serves as a park and playground and entertainment area for everyone to enjoy. This is also where the record-breaking cable cars and Golden Bridge are located. And then about 30 minutes south of Da Nang is the ancient trading town of Hoi An, the UNESCO World Heritage Site, and often labeled as one of the most beautiful towns in the world. And then back up to Son Tra Peninsula and Monkey Mountain. And that's about it for the surrounding area. Now we turn onto Asia Highway 17 and head north. AH-17 has the distinction of being part of the relatively new Asian highway system. A massive construction project that began as a UN initiative in 1959. By 2013, 29 Asian nations had joined the initiative. Set to link Asia across sea and land, you can currently, throughout the use of a couple of car ferries, travel by road, by vehicle, from Tokyo in the east to London in the west, Finland in the north, and Java in the south. It's quite an impressive system and gives a bit of awe to the road now. I could technically drive to Tokyo or London from this spot right here if I so desired. One thing you'll notice as we drive around are the roundabouts. There are a few traffic lights in the city, but their placement seems random and not for any real reason. Roundabouts are the main intersection setup. AH-17 is a divided highway with two access roads on each side. These access roads are one way and follow the flow of their adjacent highway lanes. I think this is a good time to discuss the highway system here in Vietnam. You'll notice 3 lanes. You may notice the blue signs hung next to traffic lights, as there are a couple on AH-17. The farthest right lane is for motorbikes only. The farthest left lane is for vehicles with 4 more wheels. And the middle lane is mixed use. This mixture of lane usage can sometimes create harrowing situations where the bigger trucks that are in the far left lane have to cross 2 lanes of traffic at red lights to make a right-hand turn. And adversely, if we have to make a left-hand turn, we have to go across 2 left lanes at the traffic light as well. So it can get a little dicey, but it most of the time works out okay. continuing A817, you can see the mountain in the distance. And up ahead on the right, the beautiful Natho Dang Church, which is actually recently built. When we were in our first lockdown, Jim and I sat and watched that church being built out of our kitchen window for 3 months. It was pretty interesting. Beautiful, beautiful church. Up ahead, you will also see a large apartment building. Our building is actually next to that. And when we get up to this, we're going to make a right-hand turn into the neighborhood. So we just stopped by the apartment to grab some ponchos. The weather's looking like it may rain. We just pulled away from our building and are headed down through the neighborhood. Our neighborhood is pretty typical. Lots of places to get a bowl of noodles or rice. I really enjoy the area. It is a great place to live. As you'll notice here off of the main highways, it's mostly just motorbikes. Very few cars around in the neighborhoods especially. I believe I read, doing some research on a previous article, that Vietnam has the highest concentration of motorbikes than any other country in the world. It really is an embedded part of the culture here. The domination of the motorbike brings its own unique customs as well. If you see a woman trying to move her bike that is tightly packed in with other motorbikes, it is customary to always offer to move her bike for her. A woman only drives if she is alone or with her children. Otherwise, the man in the group always drives, as I've grown to do as well. Any other behavior is considered taboo and unlucky. Also, given the dominance of the motorbike, everything is movable about motorbike, even if it means laying it between 2 or more motorbikes. Helmets are required by law, but not for small children. Don't ask me, I don't know the answer to that. And additionally, you may see a lot of women ride on the back of the motorbike with their legs crossed to one side. Like women used to ride horses in the West. Vietnamese women love to wear dresses and will always sit proper on the back of a motorbike when wearing one. So you can see we're going through one of the little intersections at the bottom of the north end of our neighborhood. And here you'll see some construction. There's always construction happening here. With the rapid growth in Vietnam, the roads and infrastructure are constantly being built and upgraded, which is good. And as you can see, for the most part, the roads here are in great shape. And yeah, I'm talking to you, Atlanta. The roads can become less developed in the countryside, but I must give Vietnam an A for how they are aggressively updating, implementing, and upgrading their road systems. So yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of potholes here. Things get repaired pretty quickly, but there is a lot of construction. There's always construction somewhere in the city, and we go through many construction zones between our apartment and work. You also notice there's never solid lines anywhere. Passing is, since it's mostly motorbike, there's not the rules of the road. I'll get into the rules of the road a little bit later in probably a separate video. But the rules of the road are very different here. Now down here we're coming to the end of our neighborhood, and you can see the mountains in front. That's going to be Monkey Mountain. So here you take a right and the road just winds around the mountain out into the peninsula and back to here again. We're going to take a left onto Le Duc Tho and head towards the bay. This is the industrial area of Da Nang. The roads are very wide, very well maintained. There's a lot of big trucks, and you'll see a lot more trucks in this area than you will in other parts of Da Nang. It's not terribly busy for local traffic, but you'll definitely notice a lot of bigger trucks. So here you will see the northern end of AH-17 coming up here in the distance. And you can notice all the large trucks going through the intersection. We're going to go straight, but if you take a right here, it will take you to the port. The Nang port is one of the largest deepwater ports in the region, a huge part of Central Vietnam's economy. Alright, now as we head through the intersection, we'll just continue along. And up here, shortly, we're going to cross a small bridge. To the left of this bridge ahead is going to be a small harbor that has kind of been constructed off of a corner of the bay. And this is going to be Fisherman's Harbor. And this is where most of the fishing boats will harbor in for the night, or when they're not out fishing. And then to the right will be the port of Da Nang Bay. And you can see the beautiful Son Tra Mountain off there right at the bay. And this is the basically the entrance of the Han River into, or one of the edges of the Han River heading into the bay. But we'll cross the larger bridge that goes over Han River at the beginning of the next video. And speaking of, that concludes part 1 of our tour. We will resume right here on the next video. Thanks for watching. Smash that subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. And we look forward to showing you some more of Da Nang in the future. So stay tuned, and we'll give you the rest of the tour soon.